Hello YouTube, I am Hazefest, and this is Wartales. It is a strategy exploration game. Strategy game in the sense of XCOM, where you control your units in battle strategically up against the AI. It is a single player game, and it is quite awesome for the price that you pay to get in. This is going to be the base game of Wartales. I played the original 1.0 version back when it first released. And since I've come back to the game, we're going to play on normal difficulty on Ironman. So any mistakes that happen are permanent. If we have to run away, we deal with the consequences. If we lose people, we deal with the consequences. And it's a little bit of a challenge run for myself because there's a lot of new stuff. I'm going to be exploring, going to be trying things and seeing what happens. So let's get into it, shall we? New game. We're going to choose our destiny. We have several options here. There is even some options I can't do because I don't have all of the content unlocked with the DLCs. So let's see. We could do apprentice friends looking for an adventure. You can see the bonuses on the right that we would get and the starting companions that this would also give us. So, Gonna quickly go down this list here to see if there's anything that speaks to me. Men escorting merchants who lost their employer. Deserters fleeing an abusive captain. Young farmers looking for a better life. Bandits looking to escape the guard. Stolen items, nice. A shipwrecked pirate crew. This has a Pugilist in it. That's one of the new classes they added since I played last. Interesting. There's an option for the tavern that I can't unlock, which is interesting. You start with a cook. And you start with a cooking pot. That's cool. Crossbowman. That's a new one that they've added as well. That's a new class. And hunters that are on the lookout for new prey. An archer that's a huntsman. Interesting. Huntsman's a new profession that you can be that was added after the fact. So I think what I'm going to do... I really like the archer, warrior, ranger, and swordsman option here. Swordsman, spearman, warrior, and brute. It's also pretty good. Brute, spearman, archer. Double rangers. Friends looking for adventures. Less raw materials. Raw materials are what we use to repair our armor after combat. Suspicion's easy to deal with. Bandits looking to escape the guard. Plus 10 wood. Brothers in arms. But I think what we'll do... Let's go for the men escorting merchants who lost their employer. That's who we'll be. We get -2 medicine, but we get 150 more money, which is nice. My companions are used to long walks. So this gives troop fatigue stacks 10% slower. And this is when you're exploring the overworld, you have a fatigue bar that you have to adhere to. So as you go through and explore, that bar decreases, and once it goes all the way to the 0 point, your unit has to rest. So at that point, you have the camp, and you can do things in the camp, you can build upon the camp, you can expand upon it. So basically this would give us 10% more exploration in the overworld per day, which is pretty important. We could also do cunning fighters, where we gain experience in combat. That's pretty damn good. Incredible resilience, which is constitution increased by 10, which is your HP for all your units. Constitution also gives carrying capacity for your entire group. It's basically your, if you think about your inventory, it's your maximum weight. Constitution applies to hit points and maximum weight that you can carry. Excellent at slap games. Critical damage, so when we get critical hits, that would be 10% higher damage. Can sell anything. Sale price of all items increased by 10%. Interesting. And we already chose the men escorting merchants who lost their employer. So we're guards for merchants. Did our guards learn how to sell things while they were working with all those merchants? If they were protecting people, they were probably experienced fighters. So let's do that. Merchants who are good fighters. I think the 10% experience and influence is pretty important. Influence helps, it's like a currency in the game, as well as used for recruiting, as well as used for giving yourself buffs. There's a lot of things you can do with influence, so I think this is what we'll do. We'll be men who are escorting a merchant that are cunning fighters. If they had a flaw, what would it be? See, here's carrying capacity, decreased by 1 for each person. I don't like that. Eternal dissatisfaction. Reduces troops' happiness by 1 during each rest. That's easy to deal with. You just feed people and pay them, and they're pretty happy. An uncommon bout of bad luck, minus 3% critical hit chance. That's brutal. Danger during rest. So if we go to the end of the day, we rest somewhere that's not in a city, we have a chance of getting into a combat scenario at the beginning of the next day. So that's interesting as well. And debuff is wages paid to companions is increased by 1. I think I'm going to take the eternal dissatisfaction. I mean, if they're guards for merchants, they probably are greedy as hell, to be honest. For the quality of life, I'd like to do eternal dissatisfaction. But I think since they were guards for merchants, I think they'd be a little greedier than most people. Let's go with that. And here we have an exploration mode. Adaptive means that all the fights will be adapted to our group size and our unit's power, and it will always offer a challenge suited to our troop. Or we could do region locked exploration, which I think was the default in 1.0. You didn't really have adaptive exploration until later. At least when I played, adaptive exploration was not a thing. Region locked means that there's a set level in an area, and as you explore, you'll have to improve your units' armor and weapons and increase the size of your units before you can go to the next area. So you have to level them up, equip them with better stuff, and have a larger group before you can go into another area. And your troop can be as high as you want it to be. If you want to have 50 units, you can have 50 units. You want to have 10 units, you can have 10 units. But the only real limitation to how big of a group you can take with you is, can you feed them? Can you pay them? If you can do both of those things, you can have as many as you want. So I think for this, we'll do region lock because it is better. I find that if you go into adaptive, especially with some of the new stuff they've added, like you can encounter a group of bears And the bears have enormous hit points, like 10 times one of your units HP per bear. And if you're going into a situation where it's like 10 on 10, you're suddenly fighting thousands of hit points rather than just a couple hundred, right? So we're going to do region locked. We're going to let the area dictate how difficult things are, and we'll explore cautiously as we go into new locations. So here we're going to do experienced Ironman. If we go into expert, they've actually added extreme difficulty for the people who are absolute masochists. Death is immediate. Retreats come at greater penalty. Companions who are lost, or companions who flee are lost. Enemy groups are faster. Disengagement comes at a greater penalty. Overall difficulty is at its maximum level. That is insane. You have to survive in merciless conditions. Happiness declines quickly. Prison sentences are final and irrevocable. Certain professions are dangerous. Merchants restock slowly. Overall difficulty is at its maximum. Yeah, I don't think so. And I like to goof off, so I don't really want to go expert, because one mistake you're dead. I mean, that's rough. So we're going to go experienced because I don't know what to expect. I played a little bit of the first area to see what it was like in the new changes, and it's rough out there. So we're going to do experienced Ironman, and we'll hit next here. We'll call this 2025 YouTube run. So now we get to the point where we can customize our characters, our starting characters. So we can do things like change if they're man or woman. We can give their appearance a randomized look. And we can change their face, their skin tone, their hair color, their clothing color, and we can even randomize a name. So if you would like to be on the crew, please submit a comment down below in the video and let me know the name of the person you'd like to add. And yeah, I'll change the name of one of our troop to that. And if I can customize the appearance, I'll do that too. So with her, cleave, taunt, cleaves 4 damage to all in the area. We can change the starting weapon, so it's either sword and shield or a two-handed sword. So it's either a one-handed sword or a two-handed sword. And we can change their utility. We can do taunt, which forces an engagement if they're already, if they're engaged or not. And it also applies weakening, which is a damage reduction for 1 round. So all their damage output is halved and they're forced to engage. We can do Wrath, which is like a finishing move. When the target has less than 50% HP left, you can execute a Wrath. And if you end up killing the unit, you gain Fury, which means your next attack is improved by 50% damage. Or we could take First Aid, which heals a dying unit. If someone is about to die, you can hit them with First Aid, brings them back from the brink of death. It also removes any debuff, which is poison, bleeding, or burning. It's pretty useful in certain situations. But for this person, I think what we're going to do is we're going to give her Wrath. And I think we'll start her with a two-handed weapon. We can also assign them a trait. We can give them a random trait, or we can pick one. For her, I think we'll go with Strong. We can also add a second trait. Now, the downside of picking a second trait is you get a negative trait as well. And I think what we'll do is we'll just leave it at 1 trait, giving her Strong. And what's going to be done for her? This guy. This guy's going to have an axe. We'll go sword and board. We'll give him Wrath as well. Give him Strong. We'll give them their primary attack stats as their trait. This guy's going to be strong as well. He's using a spear. Spears are great. The damage from a spear is actually doubled if you use it from a distance, so you don't want to be in melee with a spear. You kind of want to poke at your enemy from a distance. So we'll do that. And for this guy's utility, we'll give him first aid. We definitely don't want him to have any sort of engagement. So we can actually use run, have him disengage and run away. But instead, we're going to give him heal because he's a backline support character. You usually want him behind somebody else, stabbing enemies in the face. So we'll go with the impale option here with strong. You even get a pony at the start. And our pony is going to have, let's see here. We're going to give him brawny because Constitution is carry weight on the horse. We'll also give him stocky. And then he's going to have a negative trait of unlucky. We don't care if the horse is unlucky because this horse is not going to be a combat horse. You can have combat horses or you can have horses that carry your massive inventory. So I'm going to have the massive inventory horse. So we don't care that they are not going to be able to crit as much. Funny thing is your horse can be a drunkard, must have alcohol. That's hilarious. It can also be a depressed horse where the willpower is reduced by 2. That's fun. We don't want a depressed horse. We just want an unlucky one. And last but not least, this guy. This guy can have a 2-handed mace or a sword or a hammer and shield. We'll go with the hammer and shield. We'll give him... We don't really care if this guy has damage. So we're going to make him brawny because he's going to be more like a tank. And we'll give him the taunt option. And we'll give him a sword, a mace and shield. Blah, blah, blah. So, is there anything else I want to do? Maybe I want you with a sword and shield. I'm thinking a little bit about how I want to do this, and I'm going to have you with a 2-handed axe. I think I like this better. All right, let's go. This is a great game. I'm excited. And the art is beautiful. At the beginning, a mercenary's life is never easy. After a heated skirmish with bandits, the most opportunistic of your companions have fled, leaving behind a generous payment and a furious client. Keen to make a few crowns, but not at the expense of their own lives, now they need to find a new job. Repairs and drinks won't pay for themselves after all. Start. So this is the overworld. This is as far as you can zoom in. This is as far as you can zoom out. Not a whole lot of room to play with. You can drag and look around. You have an inventory with a few things in it. And you have your crew up in the top left. So you can close this menu if you want. You can open it back up. Now, you have a bunch of things in the top left. You have knowledge. So as you go around and explore and look at things, you'll gain knowledge. You'll use the knowledge to invest into your troop and expand capabilities that they're able to do, learn new things, be able to craft new things, get just passive skills that help you throughout the game. This is, in each region, there is a meter that goes up as you go through the scenario of that region. It's like a storyline for that area. So as you go through and do the quests there, you'll get this bar to go up. This is not very important. It's just something that happens over time. And then you have suspicion. Suspicion is as you steal things or do things that are against the law, suspicion increases. Once suspicion reaches 100, you become flagged by the guards, and they will stop you, search you, attack you, things like that, depending on your suspicion level. So think of like Grand Theft Auto, when the cops start to, get onto you. The heat that's on you is basically what this is. And it goes beyond 100. It goes to like 600. So you can see the wanted levels with the little sheriff stars right there on the second part. Yeah. So that's when you reach 100, you got rank 1 wanted, and then it goes up 5 times more than that. So just FYI. Tiltron County is where we started. We are on day 1, 12 hours, and you can see here that this is the fatigue bar. You can check your troops' fatigue to know when you are set up, when you need to set up camp and rest. The campfire to cook a nice meal. Use the campfire to cook a nice meal and get some sleep. Great. So currently we have 5 happiness. -5 happiness, companions will start to leave your troop. At 7, your maximum valor is increased by 1. At 15, your experience in combat is increased by 15%. Any gain above 15 grants you 5 influence per happiness point. That's important to know. Influence is like a currency that we can use to do all kinds of things in the game. Valor points are like special actions that you can take in combat. And these are very important to execute tactics and things like that in combat that will give you a big advantage or kill your opponents much faster. And then there's food, and has the amount of food and how many days before we run out of food. So we have 4 days of food, and we have 350 money. So great. And the knowledge that I talked about earlier, this is the knowledge screen. Once you get knowledge points, you can start learning all of these different feats, and each one of these menus is quite vast. So there's lots of knowledge that we'll need to learn and lots of things that we'll need to unlock. All right, enough about all the breakdowns. Let's get going. So as we move around this map and pick up these things, these are items that we'll use for things later. We grab the iron, and then we get into combat with these hoodlums. So this is our first look at combat. This is kind of a introduction. This combat, when your turn comes, play any unit you haven't used yet in the round. You can find out which enemy will then come into play. Prepare your strategy. Okay. So this is the combat screen. In the combat screen, you can move your units into any of these squares to fit your strategy. Let's see here. I don't think we have anyone fast enough to go to the archer. Okay. So we're just going to get started here. Once you're ready to start combat, you just pick a unit and make your move. And then once that, everybody's locked into place. So at the bottom left, you'll see that there is like some blue and red triangles or diamonds. The blue ones are us. We get to use any unit we want. And then the red is the opponent's actions. And you can click on these to see which person will be going next. And they also have this interesting little danger icon, next unit to be played. So that means this enemy archer will go first for the enemy team. And you can see their movement speed or their movement range. You can also see their attack range. So this guy's going to be able to hit us next round, and nobody here is going to be able to get close to him. Yeah. Nope. All right. Let's just go in. We're going to go here. We will attack this guy. Engage. So these 2 units are now engaged. When you perform a melee attack on a free enemy, you engage them. An engaged unit can only attack their engaged opponent and has a higher chance of taking critical damage. Take advantage of this with your other units. So An engaged unit is exposing their back. Attack them from behind to get a bonus. Okay. So now you can see these little arrows dictate which way the enemy unit is facing. They can face at an angle, but if you hit them on the backside, wherever the arrow is not, you have a higher chance of getting a crit. And that's it for this guy. We'll hit next. So now, what we can do is we can come over here. Anybody else can get over here? Yeah. All right. Move over here. Hit this guy in the back. Don't do really that much damage. Move forward a little bit. Get ready for this attack. And he shoots me with a bow. You block it. Run over here. With this spear person, you don't want to be in melee. You want to be away from melee. That way, when you use your spear, it deals double damage. And we are able to get in with the axe, so we'll move up, swing, and we got an execution. So if you get a killing blow on an enemy, you have a chance to have an execution play out. That was the axe execution. New round is starting. We can run over here and engage this archer, so we'll do that. Big damage to the archer. Archers, when they're engaged in melee combat, will just they'll just punch you, basically. Our opponent goes. He punches us for 1. Because you can't shoot a bow in melee. And then we'll run over here. And then we'll get an execution with the pitchfork. Nice. And that's combat. So as we go through the game and the combat gets more intense, there's going to be more enemies, heavily armored enemies, well-armed enemies, animals of all kinds, wolves, bears, boars, stuff like that. And you can tame those animals should you want to. We're going to repair the person who took damage. And our brute got an aptitude point. So we will go to the aptitude points. All right, level 2, we can choose what kind of unit we want our brute to be. And since this person has extra constitution, I want him to be a destroyer. It's going to be like our super tanky class. The destroyer wears heavy armor, gets additional constitution just from leveling or just becoming a destroyer. He also gains the ability to use weakening blow, which is a great tool to engage an enemy with. It deals a small amount of damage and applies weakening, which gives them 50% damage reduction for 3 rounds. Which that means for the rest of the fight, basically, because usually if you get to 3 rounds, it's a pretty tough fight. Most rounds only last 1 or 2 rounds in most fights. So the destroyer is interesting because he can pretty much just half the damage of an opponent for the entire fight. So we're going to use destroyer. Down here we have the double plus on willpower. If you get to 15 points in willpower on a character, that unit survives a fatal attack. The first time they should die in combat, they survive it at 1 HP. Movement is super crucial as well, but for this, I think we're going to take the double willpower hit. Because as a tank, I do want him to be able to survive fatal damage should it happen. And we don't have a character that can use daggers right now, so we're not going to worry about that. We did pick up this iron. And we're locking along here. We got some exploration points for the stable. Let's go in here real quick and take a look at the stable. So here, it's like an exploration. We can hold Alt and highlight stuff in the area that we can interact with. There's a plant here. Let's pick that up. Hemp. It's right below me. You couldn't see it. My camera was blocking it. And then we can talk to people.
Although the war in Edarin has been a boon for my business, I cannot help but feel for my poor ponies. I can tell you aren't soldiers. Take them with you if you can. Otherwise, they would most likely end up dead on the battlefield through no fault of their own.
So you can talk to people.
When I think of how many people don't shoe their ponies, it makes me want to pull out the little hair I have left. Tell you what, buy a horse from us, and I'll throw in the horseshoes for free.
And horseshoes give bonus movement speed in the overworld. And then we can inspect this. There's items in here with little X's on them, which indicates that they would be, if we try to take them, it would be stealing. So we can actually steal, click the steal button. And this is the unlock for the profession of thief. So we could add a thief to our group if we really wanted to. But no one really is going to benefit from that because thieving is a dexterous. Anyway, requires dexterity. It's dexterous. We don't have anybody that uses dex right now, so we're not going to worry about stealing from people just yet. And we're not going to buy a pony. We'll do that later. We found some cloth here at this little camp. So we'll take that with us. And we got our first knowledge point. With this knowledge point, I think what we will do, we can reduce the amount of money that we pay to our companions. We can reduce the amount of food that we consume. Or we can use run to look around faster during the overworld. We also reduce the recruitment cost of companions by 10%. That might be worth taking, actually. Let's do that. Let's go into town here and take a look. So this is the town. We have a blacksmith, a town hall, a market, an apothecary, and a tavern. Tavern stuff is DLC, so we're not going to worry about the derelict tavern. Let's go into the inn. Here we have a purple person who's an informant that gives clues or quests for the region scenarios. We're going to find these eventually. We're not going to spend currency on the informant currently. What we will do is we talk to emissary here.
Might you be looking for work? Our role as emissaries is to ensure that all service requests are fulfilled. We regularly update our job offers.
All right, let's review. So here we have a list of stuff to do, and we can pick any of these. Some of them are hard, some of them are easy, some of them are average. So we'll take the average. It shows you on the map here down in the bottom right. I wish this little mini map was a thing that for the overworld. I wish that was like a permanent thing. But it only shows up here when you pick up the bounties. Sad face. We're also going to take the desperate refugees. And we're going to take free the old lighthouse. Great. We can't take more than 3 contracts. We can only take 3 at the top. Later on in the game, we could probably unlock more contracts. Here in the town, or in the inn, you have different people that you can inspect and see what their classes are. You can also see their traits. Cooperative and scrawny. This is an archer. 10% damage if next to an ally in combat. She has run and shoot. Interesting. And you are stocky and confident. He already has 15 willpower. Look at that. That's impressive. Actually, very impressive. This guy has 3% increased base guard and is audacious. Damage is increased against enemies who have not taken an action this round. That's interesting. We have an innkeeper here.
It's not often you see new faces around here. Well, apart from the Edoranian war refugees, that is. Feel free to come back often. There's always folk looking for work around here. especially since all the fighting started across the border.
So in towns, you can rest at the inn for some money. You can also buy food. I think I actually want this. This apple pancake reduces the troops' fatigue stack by 30%, which means we can explore the next time we rest longer. And we can also buy the recipe on how to make the apple pancake. We could get the blueprint for a brewing vat to make our own alcohol. I mean, there's also a recipe for culture shock, so we'll worry about those later. Now, do I want more people? So this archer is also a thief. We'll take the archer with us.
Discover new places and travel the world.
So we can inspect them, which we already did with right click. And then we can also recruit, which costs influence and money, which is important to have both. Currently, we only have enough influence to hire one person. So we'll get this archer. And our companions doubt she is up to the task. Wow. They already are unsure about her. After that, we can go to the apothecary. We can click on this crafting bench to get the alchemy profession. We could also talk to the alchemist.
My concoctions can heal the most grievous injuries. Be sure to hold on to the vials after using them.
So we can grab recipes for alchemy, and we can grab alchemy stuff. We're going to worry about this later. Go to the forge. Unlock the blacksmith here. And our blacksmith for this run will be Barrett. And the blacksmith profession, we check our troop here. Let's see. This guy. Blacksmith profession gives +1 strength, so that's extra damage. That's great. And let's see here. We don't have enough materials to make anything yet. Talk to the blacksmith.
You can use my anvil. I can also repair your armor. Oh, and I'm looking to hire a skilled blacksmith, if you happen to know one.
All right. We're going to sell this damaged dagger because we don't have anybody that can use it. And it's going to be a little while before we can unlock somebody who can use that as well. So let's go to the market. Let's see here. Let's talk to this guy.
Come, come. Take a look at my wares.
Okay. Let's grab some hemp. Let's grab some leather. What's this? Partially. Grab like 6 leather.
Those refugees. I understand there's a war in Edoran, but that doesn't mean they can just help themselves.
Let's see here. This guy is going to be a cook. We haven't unlocked yet. Okay, we'll worry about food later, I guess. Who are you?
Please, can you spare some food?
Give you some bread.
Thank you so much.
You got influence for the bread. That's great. 10 influence. What do you need, beggar?
For a few crowns, I can polish your armor. Please. I'm so hungry.
Okay, we can give you 10 gold.
Here we go. A little spit and polish here and there. Done. So shiny I could go blind just looking at it. Thank you for all the money. It will be well spent.
He stole 20 and ran away. Okay, well, don't like that. Don't like that at all. Let's go to the forge real quick. Let's use our warrior here. Craft some rags. Learn how to forge. The metal plates are heating up. Press left click when a plate turns red hot to forge your item. Press when the metal plate gives off a spark to forge the item of superior quality. Hit all the plates at the right time for a chance to forge an item of exceptional quality. Fail. Alright. Superior quality it is. 12 armor from the armor rags. Let's grab one more. Damn it. Okay. Not bad. We could go back to the market and grab 3 more leather.
Come, take a look.
And then go back to the forge. Craft 1 more rag. 3rd time's the charm. Boom, there it is. Exceptional quality. And we can make better blueprints now. Exciting. So now we can go into our knowledge. And here we can go into blacksmithing. And now we can make armor or weapons. Let's go ahead and unlock weapon crafting. Start looking at that. Awesome. So let's go into here now. Let's give our people who are taking damage armor first. All right, there we go. He's got +8, and this person now needs +8. Boom, there it is. Go back to the forge. We'll sell our stuff to this person.
You can use my anvil. I can all.
Great. Let's leave town. Let's go look around. Go exploring. We also have some stuff on the map that we can go do. So we're heading towards one of our marks now. So let's go see if we can kill these groups. We also have these traveling merchants. If you click on them, you can see what they sell.
Wares, my good sirs.
Or you could just attack them. You could attack them and then get loot from them that way as well. A lumber mill. Grab some lumber, go to the lumber mill. Chop wood. Let's have our swordsman chop wood. Place the cursor on the wood cutting circle. Press left click when the green circle overlaps. This is the mini game for collecting wood. Then you get experience, and as you level up your wood cutting, you get better at that kind of stuff.
I am terribly sorry, mercenaries, but there is nothing of interest for you here. This is but a simple sawmill, and I am its humble owner.
Okay. We'll grab this hemp. There's an item here. There's a key. We could use the key to go into the ornate, to the downstairs here. It's locked. I'm not sure if we're ready for this. We'll be back to this later. Following this merchant up, there is a enemy unit we got to kill in here. There they are. If we wander around in the jungle for a little bit, we'll get ambusher, and then we can go in and attack. We now ambush the enemy. Your companions have ambushed their targets and will have an advantage in the fight. Let's go. Alright, so now we have an advantage. It's only 2 enemies versus the 5 of us. And we can see this guy here, this hooligan's going first. So what I think what I'll do is I will use my archer. to shoot this guy in the face. Great. Let's go ahead and engage him with our tank so he doesn't hit anybody important. We're going to take damage here. 7 damage. Wow. They have a buff on them. You can right click on a character to see what kind of debuffs and buffs are on them. Ooh, look at this. An engaged opponent has a 10% chance of taking critical hits from other units and 20% chance from behind. So if you flank or go behind the opponent, you have a 10% on the sides and a 20% from behind to crit. That's cool. I didn't know the actual percentages. And then we're also poisoned, which means we lose 5% of our maximum health at the end of our turn for that character. My opponent has Leader's Aggression. Critical hit increased by 30%. Holy moly. And here's the leader, Voltar the Sly. We're going to move this guy over. We're going to swing at both of these units. We kill one of them. Now we have Galvanization, which gives us a 50% damage increase for the remainder of the round. We're going to back up a little bit. This character can't reach. That's unfortunate. We're just going to move him over. The only person that's left is my spearman. Go over here. Hit him with my spear. Hit him hard. Knock him back. Right. Opponent engages. Ooh, he hits everybody. And he poisons us all. That's rough. Fortunately, we're not engaged. We could get the kill with this guy, but I'm going to go for the kill on my swordsman. Get a nice execution. He goes down. Your name here unlocked the glorious trait. Right, we actually ended up getting his dagger. We got some coal and some crowns. Great. All of our units took damage, so we're going to repair all. And if they take hit point damage, that gets healed at the end of the fight. But if they take armor damage, you have to use repair tools to repair your armor. Keep it back in pristine shape. So it's think of it like a shield. Armor is a shield that shields your HP. And you have to use tools or you have to use consumables to get your armor back up. We have an aptitude point gunning. So this guy is interesting. So if we go to gunning and we just look at his stats, he's strong. He has no other stats. Okay. So now I have to decide. I don't willpower. Willpower also increases critical hit chance by 1% for every 2 points. If I go with the strength, it increases his damage to 5 to 6. Every time this enemy kills a unit, you gain 1 valor. Every time this unit ends their turn next to an ally and is not engaged in combat, you gain 1 valor. I think I like that one better. And let's grab the willpower here. Getting him to 15 willpower is crucial. And later on, when you're leveling your units, you'll have an option to take a knowledge point in. Actually, it takes a couple knowledge points into an ability that allows us to pick what they level in. Let's see here. Not fast training. Career plans. It allows you to have enhanced control over your companion's evolution as they level up. You can spend influence to add 1 extra aptitude point when leveling up. So this means when they level up, they get the little pluses randomly assigned to their stats. And you can use career plans to add pluses to things that you want to increase upon. You can't have a maximum of +2, but that's okay. We're just going to follow this trail. until it stops. We're almost at the end of our fatigue meter here. Talk to this guy.
Might I interest you in my humble wares, my good sirs?
Sell some food. I think we're just going to sell this dagger. We can't break it down. We can't do anything with it. We don't have anybody who can use it right now, so we'll just sell it. Fatigue. Your group is overtired. Your companions might die of exhaustion if you keep walking. You should really rest. So, let's do that. You can see the meter is going up in red now, which means they're overtired. Can I make it to this piece of wood? All right, great. We're going to camp here. This is the camp screen. This is where you can change all kinds of things. You move things around. You can rest at a campfire in your camp. Feed your troop and pay their wages to avoid unrest. Resting refills your fatigue meter, restores valor points, and speeds up time. Cool. So you can see that we have a campfire here. You can use the campfire to pay and feed your troop. You can assign companions to the campfire, which generates 1 happiness during each rest. And you can move your pony around. Later on, we'll be able to put him somewhere. We also have a workshop here. We'll give you the workshop profession. So this guy will become our tinker. And that gives him 2% critical hit chance. So he's already up to like 13 critical hit chance. Not too bad. All right, what can we do here? We can make lockpicks. And at the bottom here, you see craft. And next to the craft is a little tiny white dot. This says when you do this one time, it increases your knowledge. So you obviously want to do that. Because now my knowledge has gone up. And now I can do something else. I can craft a fish hook. Let's do that. Increases knowledge. Go create a rope. Yes, do that. Increases knowledge. Great. What is this? Torch. We don't have the stuff for that. We can make a piton. This right here allows you to scale up and down cliffs and stuff quickly. These are very important for traversing the overworld. So we'll get there's a piton. And now we got 3 knowledge points. We're going to get immediately into career plans. Yep. We're also going to grab run. No. Let's grab rationing quick. This will be our first rest. That increases our food consumption and gives us an extra day of food just by taking rationing. So the troop eats 3 less food overall. That's great. Is there anything else we can do? Not right now. I think that's it. As you go through and do things in the game, you'll get these little encyclopedia points or whatever these are called. I don't paths. These are called paths. As you go through, you'll get these little points values, and every time these little meters fill up, you unlock knowledge in the world, and there's huge, massive bonuses that you can get from each of these little paths. Very important. This is our food screen. We're going to grab the apple pancake so that we can run around the map longer tomorrow. We'll also put this bread in, and then we'll rest. Excellent. We are well rested. We gained 2 valor. Our happiness increased by +3, and then we get an additional +3 by having people next to the fire. True happiness is now 8. Your companions are pleased, and you have them in the following maximum valor points increased by 1. The camp has produced resources from the Tinkerer, so now we have a couple of raw materials that we can use for repairing armor. Fantastic. Let's keep looking around. We do have this Highland Trackers camp. We need to take a look at this here in just a moment. We have some critters running around in the woods here. Can't tell what those are. They look like boars. We do have ambusher. Looks like the boars engaged into battle with some of the other NPCs running around. We're gonna grab this hemp. Let's talk to this Master Tracker.
Master Tracker. Our brotherhood is tasked with the culling of all the wild beasts on the continent. We reward hunters for their kills and protect the common folk from these vicious animals. If you want to join us and learn from us, you'll need to prove your worth and take part in your first hunt.
All right, we'll accept.
Come back victorious, or do not come back at all.
That's very possible. We also have things we can steal, but we're not going to do that right now. Who are you?
Envious of our war paint, are you? You're not the first. Sorry, mercenaries. Only those who have been initiated in our ways may sport these. To become part of the lucky few, you must travel to Ludern and ask the druid in the Tull's Glade. But be warned, the way there is fraught with danger.
Okay, well, that's something we'll have to do later.
Don't even bother trying to sell me your filth. I am in need of fangs to accomplish our ancient rituals.
Okay, so it looks like all of her stuff require fangs. That's her bartering system, is fangs. And there's a lot of stuff here. Make a friendship necklace for your little animal pet. Hunting gear. Meat drying rack. Cabbage perch recipe for food. And a reinforcement layers. That's nice. Not too bad. We can also use traps. This tool can be used to catch small animals during a rest. Single use. Interesting. Wood cutting. Let's do that. Nice. That's all we can do here. Excellent. All right. Now we got to go over here and do the desperate refugees, and we got to do the old lighthouse at the south. So you can see that the fatigue meter at the top is moving much slower today because I ate the apple pancake. So every time we're in town, the main town of Stromcap, I'll make sure to try to get that apple pancake. I don't know if we can do this, but let's give it a shot. Talk to the refugee.
This woman promised us honest labor, and look what we got. We're treated worse than slaves, and the guard turns a blind eye. But then again, why would anyone help Eduranian refugees?
Don't hurt me! If they flog me one more time...
Damn. So we talked to these two guys. There's a thing here. Gives us a work manual. We can consume it to get knowledge. Let's do that. And for this, we will do run, maybe? Let's grab run so that we can run around on the overworld a little faster. We'll go ahead and grab the wood and the resin from these two spots here. And let's go. The lady's gone. Oh, we get attacked.
For you, ransacking a slaver's basement tends to be a bad idea.
Okay, let's try fighting them. They're level 2. It's just 2 people? Or is it 3 people? It's 3 people. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, we got range on him. Go ahead and get into combat. We'll hit the archers so that we can reduce the amount of damage the archer can put out. And over here, we're going to sweep the area, hitting both of these guys. We got bleeding on one of them. That's great. Archer punches us. Rude. The next person to go is on the right side here. Let's engage with our swordsman. And then shoot this guy in the back. Didn't quite get maximum damage there. That's too bad. Alright, we get hit by the hoodlum. Massive damage and poisoning our character. The next person to go is the boss here, and she can swing and hit all of us. That's not good. One over here. Let's hit the archer. Killed him. Excellent. Temporary valor points. Nice. So I'm standing next to the guy, one of my allies, and some actions grant temporary valor points, which is what I just got. The points can be used, must be used before battle, or they will be lost forever. So we got an additional valor point that we must use, or it goes away. Man, he hit all three of us. Rude. Okay. Let's see here. The big guy's going again. Let's hit him with weakening. Going to reduce his damage output by 50%. Get our normal attack in. We take poison damage. Hit him with my spear. Again, we take more poison damage. And now we use Wrath to take down the big boss, and he gets glorious. Your opponents are demoralized and flee. Do you want to let them win? Do you want to let them go and win the battle? No. So we have an option to just end the battle right there if you're in a really bad situation where you're taking lots and lots of damage. That is an option. But instead, we're going to come over here and we're going to finish this chick off for daring to attack our troop. Take that, you heathen. And then we get loot. We get another dagger that we can't use. We get a lockpick and some money, and then a iron torque, which we can use to sell. It's just a trinket. Let's repair our armor. Yeah, repair that. Repair that. Repair that one. Sure. I manually repaired there because I didn't want to use be wasteful and waste additional stuff. Let's see here. We are a warrior. I think I'm going to make this one a berserker. We're going to go berserker, and let's get our movement up. So now he can run in and really lay down the law for my opponents. All right. If you guys are enjoying the playthrough, make sure to like and subscribe. And I will... Give me just a second here. Go here. Go this over to here. Awesome. But yeah, like and subscribe if you don't mind. I would appreciate those who do. And again, if you want me to rename one of the people as whatever name you want to give me. Just make sure you leave a comment and let me know. I appreciate those who do, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.